Hello, this is Peter B, and this is the second episode of Tobacco Guard Tuesday. That is where I go into my collection of tobacco cards, randomly pull out 3 cards, and I learn a little bit more about the individual player, and this is where I present it back to you. And today we have a good one. Most of my tobacco cards are commons. And so there's a great chance when I pull into my box, I pull up 3 commons, but I randomly pulled up 3 Hall of Famers today. And not only that, the third Hall of Famer, there's a little bonus I'm going to show about tobacco cards. So, to start it off, the first player I pulled up was Rube Marcard of the New York Giants. And this is a 1909 to 1911 T206. Rube Marcard. He's a Hall of Famer, like I said. And that's the back. A Piedmont card. The most found T206 card is a Piedmont. Okay, Richard William Marcard was born October 9th, 1886. He was the bat boy at League Park for the Cleveland Broncos, who later became the Cleveland Naps when Lajoie joined the team. But he was the bat boy for the Cleveland Broncos. In 1902, Marcard signed with the Indianapolis Indians of the American Association. That was his first start in professional baseball. In 1907, they optioned him to the Canton Chinamen of the Central League. There he led the league with 23 wins. In 1908, he was promoted to Indianapolis Indians, and that's where he got his nickname Rube. His sweeping delivery reminded a sports writer that he looked like Rube Waddell. So he wrote in his paper Rube, and that nickname stuck. His record in 1908 was 28-19 with a 1.69 ERA. There was a bidding war for his talents at the end of the year, and the New York Giants won with an $11,000 paid to Indianapolis for Marcard's services. Marcard was dubbed the 11,000 Peach by New York. Marcard made his major league debut on September 25th, 1908. The major league batters did not welcome him, however, and he went 9-17 his first 2 seasons, and was now being called the $11,000 Lemon. But John McGraw stuck with him, and in 1911, a new pitching coach came over to the team and worked with Marcard. Results were immediate. In 1911, he was 24-7 with a 2.5 ERA and 237 Ks. Giants won the pennant, and he and fellow pitcher Christy Mathewson accounted for more than half the team's wins. In 1902, Marcard went on to win 19 consecutive victories. Once again that year, the Giants won the pennant. Marcard played with the Giants until 1915, when he went to the Brooklyn Robins, who later became the Dodgers, and he played for them for 6 years. He next played a year for Cincinnati, and then a few years with the Boston Braves. He coached and managed in the minor leagues for a few years after his major league career was over. He was voted into the Hall of Fame in 1971, and Marcard passed away in 1980. His 11-year ML stats include a 201 and 177 record, a 3.08 ERA, and 1,593 Ks. So that is Rube McCard. And this is T206 card. Okay, the next one, another Hall of Famer, is Cap Anson. And this is his N28 Allen Ginter card. A little paper loss on the bottom. And that's the back of it. Not much paper loss, but the tape's still there. The rest in at the top, but the rest of the card's nice. The sides are nice. I love this card. I couldn't afford a real nice one. This is a poor fare one. Adrian Cap Anson. Adrian Constantine Anson was born in a log cabin in Iowa in 1852. He claimed that he was a descendant from the British naval hero Lord Anson. At 19 years old, he played for the Rockford Forest City Ball Club in 1871 and batted .325. At the end of the year, the Rockford Club disbanded, so the Philadelphia A's picked up his contract. The first year he played in the majors was 1872 for the A's, and he batted .415. In 1876, he was signed by the Chicago White Stockings, which later became the Cubs. Anson thrived in Chicago along with his friend Al Spalding and became the best player of the 70s and 80s. In 1877, Spalding went on to become the White Stocking president, and Anson was named captain of the team, thus the nickname Cap. Chicago was on top of the baseball world in the early 80s, winning pennants. Anson became a true national celebrity and baseball's best player. He played with the Cubs for 22 years, final season being in 1897. His 27 years total, he has a .334 batting average, 3,435 hits, and he is the first member of the 3,000 hit club, 1,880 RBI. He hit over 324 of his 27 years in the majors, and he was voted into the Hall of Fame in 1939. Regrettably, Anson used his stature to drive minority players out of the game. In 1883, in an exhibition game, Anson refused to take the field because Toledo had an African-American catcher, Moses Fleetwood Walker. Faced with losing the gate receipts, Anson finally played, but under great protest. Other players began to protest as well throughout the league, and this became a regular thing in the rest of the 1880s. In 1887, Anson complained again in another exhibition game with Newark. He refused to play until Moses Fleetwood Walker and pitcher George Stovey were removed from the field. By the early 1890s, no black player remained in professional baseball until Jackie Robinson came along in 1947. So one of the better players in the 1800s. He really had just about every record in the game at that time, but his racism kind of puts a downer on his Hall of Fame career. Anyways, that's Adrian Cap Anson. And this is his 1887 and 28 Allen and Ginter card. Okay, the final Hall of Fame player I pulled out randomly is Frank Home Run Baker of the Philadelphia A's. And this is his T206 card. It is a Piedmont, and it's factory 25. You can see factory number 25. It was inserted in Piedmont tobacco boxes, cigarette boxes. Frank Home Run Baker. Baker was born in 1886 along the Maryland Eastern Shore. He developed powerful arms, hands, and back by working in his father's farm. Baker swung a big 52-ounce bat and was considered one of the dead ball era's greatest slugger. Baker led or tied for the league in home runs every year from 1911 to 1914. This is why he got the home run nickname. Connie Mack of the Philadelphia A's called him up to the big leagues in 1908. Baker was part of the $100,000 infield. After a contract dispute with Mack, Baker sat out 1915 and went back to work on the farm. A's finally sold his contract to the New York Yankees, and he returned to the game in 1916. Baker was the Yankees' top slugger until 1919, when they acquired a guy named Ruth from the Red Sox. Baker played with the Yankees until 1922, and Baker entered the Hall of Fame in 1955. If you're looking to start collecting or collect a couple of the pre-war cards, I recommend T206. There are many out there, and you can find them in conditions like these that are fairly inexpensive, or you can find them in real good condition that is very expensive. And I forget the number, but there is a lot of cards in the set. Collectors find many ways to collect T206s. If you had unlimited fund of money, you can try to collect the whole set. Now, the whole set includes Honest Wagner. It also includes the Plank card, two others I should have written down, escaped my head. So 4 cards of the T206 set are very, very expensive, with the Wagner being the number one. Sets are considered complete without the big 4. So if you still have a lot of money, you can go out and collect the set and don't have to touch the big 4 in the set. A lot of collectors collect by team. I actually have the Red Sox team set in the T206. A lot of collectors try to collect by back. They either go for a Piedmont run of players or a Sweet Caporal run of players. Those are the two easiest to come by. And like I said, this is a Piedmont Factory 25. And there is another way to collect T206s, and that is a player run. So here's Baker in a Piedmont Factory 25. I got a Baker and a Piedmont Factory 42. Oh, I should have mentioned one other thing. First one you saw was labeled 350 subjects. This series came out first. Then a second series came out, and it says 360 to 460 subjects. And it says new baseball cards because it came from a new series. Once again, this is a Piedmont 360 to 460 subjects, Factory 42. It has a little pinhole, which brings it a 1. Otherwise, it's in fairly good condition. Here is another one. Another Piedmont card. And this is from the 350 to 460 subjects. And this one is factory number 25. So you saw a factory number 42 and a factory number 25 from the same second series released of T206 cards. And here's a sweet Caporal card. Nice card. Looks like someone had written something and someone tried to erase it, but still a nice card, I think. And this is a sweet Caporal cigarette. Someone also stamped 3 stars. It's from the 350 subject series. And this is factory number 30. And here's another sweet Caporal card. This is a 2. Nice card, nice colors, nice registration. And this is from the 350 to 460 subjects, factory number 25. Another sweet Caporal card. Nice square corners. I haven't had this graded, so I don't know if it's trim. Looks a little funky up at top. Otherwise, nice sharp corners. I'm sure it's trimmed on the top. But I still love the card. Nice colors, nice registration. Sweet Caporal from the 350 to 460 series, factory number 42. Another sweet Caporal card, graded at a 2. Once again, beautiful card. This is my favorite T206 card. I love this pose. Well, my favorite would be Honest Wagner if I owned him. But since I don't, this is my favorite card. That's why I did go on a player run. This is sweet Caporal, 350 to 460 subjects, factory 42, and it has an overstrike. That's the original. No, factory 42. That's a factory 42 with an overstrike. You can see the difference there. Another nice Baker card. Nice colors. And this has the polar bear back. Another T206. Little crease up top, but otherwise it's a very nice card. Nice, once again, nice colors. This is a little bit more rarer Tolstoy Russian mouthpiece cigarettes back. And it is from factory 30, but it's the only version of Tolstoy, just like Polar Bear. Only one version of Polar Bear, and that's actually factory 6. Now we're getting into a T206 lookalike. This is the T215. They were produced from 1910 to 13. And this came in red crust tobacco. Used the exact same front as the T206 series. Just a different back. And it's probably not called a T206 because T206 stopped in 1911 and the T13 stopped in 1913. I think it should be part. I think all these should be part. But that's the way it was designated. Now we have a T213. These are coupon cigarettes from 1910 to 1919. Once again, they used the same front. This time, the name is in blue. See, Baker, Phila, Amera. Now it's in blue, Baker, Philadelphia, Amera. Nice card. And they came in 3 series. Series 1, Series 2, Series 3. Series 1 just said coupon cigarettes and looked more like a T206 back. This is Series 2. So it's designated T213-2. And this is what the back looks like on that series of coupon cigarette cards. Once again, same image in front, except for the blue lettering. Put that up here for a second. And this is the T213 coupon type 3. Baker was traded from Philadelphia to the New York Yankees between the printing of the Series 2 and the Series 3. Thus, it says Baker, New York American. And this is what the Series 3 looks like. So here's a Series 2 and a Series 3. And the last Baker card I own, going back to the T206 series, it has an old mill back. I'm not going to take it out of this box, but trust me, it has an old mill back. And that is what the original cigarette box looks like. You would get these with, I believe, 10 cigarettes. And it's a slide shell, meaning the middle will slide out, leaving what you see as the covering. T206 Old Mill. So that's my T206-ish Baker collection. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a thing or two. And more importantly, I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.